alcanzan alturas impresionantes. Con una elevación de casi 12 metros, la estela E es el mayor monumento de este tipo. La caligrafía y los detalles grabados de las estelas son ambos una obra de arte, en especial la que contiene la danza mística de un príncipe maya. Y así, tras largas pero enriquecedoras jornadas, finalmente concluimos nuestra sensacional aventura por el corazón del mundo maya. Con esta excursión, hemos revivido la historia de la estupenda civilización de Guatemala. Hoy la gente y la cultura de este país nuevamente cobra fuerza y quiere ofrecerle al mundo toda su riqueza y su conocimiento para hacer posible la paz y la felicidad que tanto anhelan las naciones del mundo.
When the powerful empires of Europe did not yet exist at all, on the continent, which today we call America, specifically where today there is the country of Guatemala, the Mayan civilization was at its height. The exuberant forest of the Petén are a natural treasure, a kaleidoscope that houses an exquisite and numerous variety of species of flora and fauna. The dense tropical forest of the Petén, with its pristine and plentiful rivers, its ecosystems, its affable and friendly people, as well as its ancient cities lost in time, make it a destiny for tourism that is unique on the planet. People who are looking for an indelible experience, full of mystery and exciting experiences. Because of their high human development and the unbelievable beauty of their monuments, scholars of the Mayan culture coincided wisely in naming Tikal and the surrounding sites the heart of the Mayan world. once thriving city of Tikal covered an area of 57 square kilometers and was a masterpiece of design and city planning. At its peak, the city came to house close to 100,000 inhabitants, and its influence on commerce and political power was unique. Its dominion was counteracted by influence of another big city, Calakmul, 60 kilometers north of Tikal. There, in the green sanctuary of what nowadays are the protected reserves of the Petén, which are sacred for the Mayas, one of the most surprising cultures of all times was being created. The ancient Mayas built the first skyscrapers of the New World. Some buildings like Temple 4 or the two-headed snake reached a height of over 70 meters. Of course, the regal pyramid named the Grand Jawar, and as well as the Palace of the Bat, are masterpieces. They sculpted magnificent reliefs, carved elaborate stelae with figures of their kings and exact dates of their government. They also inscribed other relevant, historic, and religious events. In the field of mathematics, thanks to their inventiveness, the Mayas of the classic era amazingly defined the concept of zero and the currently used vigesimal system, which made it possible to carry out complex astronomical calculations and exact measurements. At the same time, they cultivated with unbelievable precision one of the sciences that has fascinated man most, the science of measuring time and elaborating exact calendars. It must be pointed out that the Mayas made religion and several fabulous metaphysic conceptions their priority, such as a respectful and harmonic coexistence with nature, wherefrom they obtained everything necessary for their subsistence. In fact, their cosmogony and deities fill the lives of the highest priests, the high-ranking officers, and all the commoners almost completely. Just like in a travel through time, we become participants of an exciting expedition full of adventure through the mysterious green world of the Mayas. And moreover, we will experience the thrill of flying in an ultralight in order to observe the course of the Sumacinta and San Pedro rivers, the vast green jungle that for thousands of years has sheltered these wonderful Mayan cities. We start our excursion in search of the most emblematic sites of the Mayan civilization on Flores Island, which formerly was a ceremonial center named Tayasal. Flores Island is located in the pristine lake Petén Itza, which is venerated by the Itza people. While we travel on the rough road to Rio Azul, with dense vegetation on both sides, we come across the city of Huachactung. The center of this important city was made up of groups of stone buildings built on 5 hills. Around it, there are platforms of disseminated houses. The one we called Group E. In this Mayan settlement, there stands a terraced pyramid that dates back to the pre-classic period. Just like the pyramid of the Lost World in Tikal, this one has a staircase with figureheads of cosmic creatures on each of its 4 sides. It has been established that the oldest observatory of the Mayas is the one in Huachactung. There are also many groups of structures that are positioned according to the cardinal points. This city was a center where the most eminent Mayan wise men of astronomy, divination, and other sciences got together. we continue our off-road adventure, literally through the green tunnel made by the dense foliage of trees and plants. The suffocating heat of the jungle is calmed by the refreshing and copious rains of this rainy season that lasts for months, from May through October every year. Soon, we arrive at a place called Dos Lagunas, an authentic wildlife sanctuary. The view is breathtaking, not just because of its almost crystalline waters, but because of the jungle surroundings and the rich biodiversity that abounds. The jungle that surrounds Dos Lagunas is the habitat of many animals. Jaguars prowl there, tapir couples can be seen, and voice duels of howling monkeys can be heard. Birds like the king vulture and the harpy fly over the place looking for prey. And of course, noisy guacamayas with their strikingly colorful feathers can be sighted. Having driven 45 kilometers to the east of Dos Lagunas, we come to the archaeological site of Rio Azul, another important city of the ancient Maya kingdom. In an area of little over 3 square kilometers, almost 500 buildings are scattered, the highest of them measuring 47 meters. Among the many graves of Rio Azul, the so-called Tomb 1 is doubtlessly the most magnificent. Glyphs adorn Tomb 12. The emblem of the 4 cardinal points appear in their exact positions, accompanied by the regent gods. The sun controls the east, Venus the south, the darkness of the firmament, the west, and the moon, the north. The mystery of the Maya's disappearance happened so suddenly that no theory has been able to determine the real cause why they abandoned the magnificent cities they had built, and therefore yet adds to the enigma of their appearance. Now our trip takes a different direction. We return to Lake Petén, and after a short rest, continue on our way towards El Mirador. From Carmelita, we undertake an exciting excursion on a mule that leads us to the disappeared Mayan cities of El Tintal, El Mirador, and Nakbe. The settlement of El Mirador dates back to the pre-classic period. The enormous pyramids of this place were built before the most ancient stone constructions in Tikal. One of the most impressive is the so-called Pyramid of the Tiger, which has an altitude of 55 meters. Climbing the Pyramid of the Tapir is a powerful experience, since from its peak, the vastness of the jungle can really be appreciated. We continue our travel and come to Yaksha and then to Topokshte. Yaksha is one of the few cities that show an urban network with well-traced paths and streets. Yaksha spans 9 acropolis, Hana, or squares, which contain over 500 structures. On Square B, a very original building can be seen. Structure 90. This is a promontory that supports 6 pillars. To the east of this square rises Temple 216, which offers a spectacular view of the surrounding green paradise of the lakes Yaksha, Saknab, and of the Topokshte Island. The ruins of Nakum. In this place, there are several constructions to be seen that the Mayas used to make astronomical observations. Nancum is a vast esplanade sprinkled with solid structures. The square and the other constructions to the east and to the west form a peculiar group called the Observatory of the Solstice. Our adventure also takes us to other Mayan archaeological sites with tremendous historical significance. After going upriver on the famous and majestic river La Pasión, we climb into the Bat Cave and the Snake Cave in order to experience these mysterious places that were sacred to the Mayan priests. And to refresh ourselves after the suffocating heat, what could be better than to plunge into one of the many sinkholes that abound in the region? We keep riding upstream on La Pasión River until we reach a place called Lagunas de Petén and then arrive to Ahuateca. A settlement that is divided into 3 zones called the epicenter, center, and periphery. The epicenter, or nucleus of this archaeological site, is the fortress that defended Ahuateca from its enemies and is also the site where the priests celebrated their ceremonies. Ahuateca is a very unique thanks to its peculiar topography. Ceibal is a settlement that was controlled by the Petén Mayas, who were traders and warriors. Ceibal consists basically of 3 groups of monumental structures that include a big square, scattered pyramids, and several stelae. One of them is laboriously carved and represents a monarch. There is also a platform where astronomical studies took place. Dos Pilas is another archaeological site which is situated in the vicinity of the river La Pasión. The most relevant features of Dos Pilas are its 400 mounds. There are 3 groups of monuments that are named the main group, the elf, and the bats respectively. They are grouped around 4 squares and on an esplanade that protects close to 20 stelae. 4 staircases with sculpted glyphs on their exposed parts can also be appreciated.